every day we wait, that number will keep growing.
Yeah.
So I'm putting
Take
forward
away all
a
guns.
specific set of proposals based on the work of Joe's task force. And in the days ahead, I intend to use whatever weight this office holds to make them a reality. Because while there is no law or set of laws that can prevent every senseless act of violence completely, no piece of legislation that will prevent every tragedy, every act of evil, if there's even one thing we can do,
it's not the guns that kill people, it's people that kill people.
That can be saved, then we've got an obligation to try.
Really.
And I'm going to do my part. As soon as I'm finished speaking here, I will sit at that desk and I will sign a directive giving law enforcement, schools, mental health professionals, and the public health community some of the tools they need to help reduce gun violence. We will make it easier to keep guns out of the hands of criminals.
The cool tools we need are tools you need.
We will help schools hire more resource officers if they want them.
The tools you need to reduce people with having protection.
We will make sure mental health professionals know their options for reporting threats of violence.
I guess violent people.
Someone with a mental illness is far more likely to be a victim of violent crime than the perpetrator.
Mental illness.
And while year after year, those who oppose even modest gun safety measures have threatened to defund scientific or medical research into the causes of gun violence, I will direct the Centers for Disease Control to go ahead and study the best ways to reduce it. And Congress should fund research into the effects that violent video games have on young minds. We don't benefit from ignorance. We don't benefit from not knowing the science of this epidemic of violence. Now, these are a few of the 23 executive actions that I'm announcing today. But as important as these steps are, they are in no way a substitute for action from members of Congress. To make a real and lasting difference, Congress too must act. And Congress must act soon. And I'm calling on Congress to pass some very specific proposals right away. First, it's time for Congress to require a universal background check for anyone trying to buy a gun. The law already requires licensed gun dealers to run background checks, and over the last 14 years, that's kept 1.5 million of the wrong people from getting their hands on a gun. But it's hard to enforce that law when as many as 40% of all gun purchases are conducted without a background check. That's not safe, that's not smart, it's not fair to responsible gun buyers or sellers.
This is when all the people on the internet dread
you should at least have to show a felon or somebody legally.
The guns taken away from
This is
them.
common sense.
Alex Jones preaches this. He's going to have a field day, but he's part of the problem too, because he's part of the group that wants them to follow them into these camps. So support Alex Jones at your own risk. And anyone who's tries to be against the government, support these people at their own risk, because they're going to lead you down a path where there is no freedom for you, only incarceration.
And that's what allows
so,
in Aurora to shoot
be of martial mind.
70 people, killing 12 in a matter of minutes. Weapons designed for the theater of war have no place in the movie theater.
media so shaded and some of the things they come up with Sandy Hook
defenders of the Second Amendment, who wrote to Congress in
and all kinds of other things don't really go together.
And to the law enforcement community,
many people have been exposed, but in people's minds. So
finally, Congress needs to help rather than hinder law enforcement as it does its job. We should get tougher on people who buy guns with the express purpose of turning around and selling them
law pushes this on there.
And we should severely punish anybody who helps them do this.
This is breaking news.
Since Congress hasn't confirmed a director
that I want to get out there because it's important for the American people to know that
has been acting, and I will be nominating
this is the end of your one of their constitutional rights to bear arms.
And at a time when
and I agree that this should be monitored, better monitored, so nobody has a background in using them in violence.
The Second Amendment
guarantees an individual right to bear arms. Kind of clues to some others and some people that need guns to protect their land, protect themselves.
There are millions of responsible, law-abiding gun owners in America who cherish their right to bear arms for hunting or sport or protection or collection. I also believe most gun owners agree that we can respect the Second Amendment while keeping an irresponsible, law-breaking few from inflicting harm on a massive scale.
That's all it's all about. That's what it's all about. Truthfully, what he's saying, the president is saying.
That's what these reforms are designed to do.
You know, I've been
they have the support of the majority of the American people.
To the fact that everything
is any of this is going to be easy to enact or implement. If it were, we'd already have
sorceress in nature. The flag,
assault weapons and high-capacity magazines never would have been allowed to expire.
A little bundle
More of our fellow Americans might still be allowed
little bundle
birthdays and anniversaries and graduations.
With an arrow sticking through. This represents fascism. So you gotta know these facts.
Not because that's true.
The stars are, of course, by pointing stars
they want to gin up fear
right next to the Pentagram.
And behind the scenes, they'll do everything they can
to
block any common sense reform and make sure nothing changes whatsoever.
Good, magical, sorcery,
the only way we will be able to change is if
fight, but it's upside down. It represents something different.
At this time, we must do something
warn
to protect our
demon or a goat. You know? So
I will put everything I've got
you gotta know what this world's about.
But I tell you,
sure, the flag right through represent Masonic things. Because it's cultures are leaders of Masonic in nature.
We're going to need voices
but
in those areas, in those congressional districts.
But I'm against is anyone in worships death.
To speak up.
Whereas skull and crossbones, whatever, other motifs, or worships serious. They make us their belief system on the star system serious. Because I think that Syrians might be the main concern or main problem in the way of control and abuse and
we suffer too much pain and care too much about our children.
Dark sorcery.
Then change will come.
And the Orions on the other end, Orions
in the letter that